In the following exercise, I'm going to ask you to imagine that you had 7 days left to live. And then I'm going to ask you to imagine how you would spend that time. Now, it's easy to think that when we're on our deathbed, we will be surrounded by our loved ones and able to make great statements about our life, sort out our will, our finances, and say what needs to be said. But for the past 8 years, I've worked as part of a group that helps people through the death and dying process called the Bardo Group. We organise funerals, we help people with bedside prayers, and work with palliative care nurses to provide support for those in the death and dying process. One of the experts of palliative care who I spoke to told me, when we're on our deathbeds, this is not the time to be saying the things that need to be said. People often imagine that they'll be surrounded by loved ones, when in fact they will be surrounded by tubes and probably unable to breathe, let alone speak. She told me, when you're on your deathbed, your body is diverting all of its resources to try and keep you alive. Your deathbed is not the time to try and reconcile what needs to be reconciled. The time to do that is while you're still alive. So I ask you, what needs to be reconciled? Not once you're on your deathbed, but now. If we can reconcile our life before we die, we start living fully and completely. Allow yourself to relax deeply. Focus on your breathing and count at least 3 deep but relaxed breaths. If you knew that you were going to die in 7 days from now, what would you do? Take some time to simply rest with the question in your mind. Who would you call? Who would you apologize to? What place would you visit? What would you change in your life so that you could die at peace with the world? What little conflict would you try to resolve? What wrong would you put right? What fear would you face? Be realistic, but be optimistic. If you knew that you were going to die in 7 days, how would you spend your last week? Now, I want you to focus on 3 or more specific things that you would do, say, or make happen if you had 1 week left to live. They don't have to be big things, just personal to you. Decide on 3 or more things that you would do, say, or make happen if you had 7 days left to live. And finally, if there is one thing on your list that you can realistically, safely, and beneficially do within the next 7 days of your life, would you do it? Why wait? Why wait until you're on your deathbed? Make it happen now, within the next week of your life. Take a moment to dedicate the beneficial energy of this practice to the benefit of all beings. And take some time to make notes on your experience if you like.